ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Clanfolk. I'm Neodyinamite Plays. Well, I'm gonna show you a few tips. What you need to do in order to survive through the first winter, which is apparently one of the hardest aspects of the game. Is it? I don't know. Hard to say. So, just so you know, this is one of my current playthroughs. Right now is year 1. It's fall already, and I've managed to prepare all of this. Actually, we're gonna wait a little bit till like proper light will show up, since I don't think you guys can actually see anything. Just so you're gonna be aware of this thing, I'm gonna of course show you the skill tree, I mean the idea tree, what exactly you need to develop. But the thing is that the developers are still working on the game. So that means that some of the things may actually change in the future versions of the game. Just to give you an example, when I was recording this clan for the first time, there was this specific item called mushroom dryer, mushroom rack. So right now, the mushroom rack is not that high in the tree, right? But the thing is that when I was recording this, the mushroom rack was, I think, somewhere over here. Somewhere around this level, like around the brick level. So they've moved it up just to make life a little bit easier for the people. Just so you know, this, let's say, guide is not gonna contain anything related to farming. I've survived for the first winter without any farming. This is like the easiest setting, of course. If you're playing with the hardest setting, then obviously, I think, you already have some experience with Clanfolk, so you actually will try to do some proper farming and stuff. But anyway, what you need to prepare. We're gonna start with the basics. Of course, you need to prepare a house for your clan, right? You need to provide them with appropriate house. You need to have walls, you need to have floors. Actually, floors, I guess, are quite optional. But most important, you need to have a roof over the heads of your people. Beds, of course, is like another thing you need to provide. At the current version of the game, there is no such thing as, let's say, material isolation, right? So it doesn't matter for the winter, for the temperature, to keep the temperature inside of the house. It does not matter for you, you will make the walls out of, I don't know, hay, or you make it out of bricks, or you're gonna make it out of logs. It doesn't matter, at least at this version of the game. It could change in the future, maybe it will change in the future, I don't know. For now, it's not really important. But get yourself a house, get yourself a roof, be sure that you're gonna put some beds inside. Maybe even try to put some working stations inside. A good idea to build inside, if I actually have those things unlocked, when it comes to crafting stations, to make your life a little bit easier, and I don't think I actually have this thing. Items such as, let's say, bloomery, because this thing can create heat. Sure, it's gonna take some space, it's gonna look really ugly, but it's gonna create you some heat, which is nice. At the moment I get it outside, this thing is responsible for making you iron ingots, right? But obviously you want to move it inside, so you're gonna both prepare yourself ingots for making, let's say, tools or nails, which are quite important if you're gonna be building something bigger, something more advanced. But also, a side effect, you will be able to heat up the house of your clan. Now, you probably noticed that this thing has like this red ring. Same goes for the cooking fire. Same goes for the firestone place. Same goes for, if I remember correctly, for the standing torch and for the wall torch. Those things can make sparks. If a spark will fall on something that is flammable, so let's say wood, leather, fur, food, I think as well. If it's gonna land on any of those resources, especially hay, it will start a fire. You see those things over here? Those are like those sparks. Now you're probably wondering, okay, so your house is gonna burn. Not exactly. My entire house, yeah, I got hay roof. I got wooden walls. Why is this thing not burning? Because my floor is made out of bricks, which is completely optional. But what's more important is that the place around the campfire, around the cooking fire, is made out of stone. This is a stone wall. Those are stone floors. You have to waste a few stone bricks to a few large stones, but I think that's actually like quite accessible for you. If not, you have to rush to get yourself the clean, and you basically still have to rush to get yourself the clean, because it's another aspect very important for surviving the winter. But yeah, if you cannot build an entire house made out of bricks, and you cannot make an entire roof made out of, let's say, bricks or tiles or something else that's not flammable, then remember at least to surround the area, the immediate area around the cooking space with inflammable items, with inflammable materials, right? So stone and bricks basically go into that category. And with that, your house will not burn down, which is kind of essential because you need to provide your people with heating during the winter. And, well, they will complain about that. They're gonna go outside, they're gonna get really cold, they're gonna get back to the house to get themselves warm up. The cooking fire will be constantly on, because either we're gonna be cooking or be people walking over here and they would like to warm themselves a little bit. Second thing that you need to prepare is actually clothing. Yeah, I know. Your people may complain about that. I've actually seen somebody, I've seen like another guide where the, let's say the player didn't even mention that you have to prepare clothing for your people. So get this shit almost at the very beginning of the game. Once again, you have to go to the idea tree. If I could actually find this. The clothes are quite low in the tree, right? After you're gonna get yourself the clothing zone, eventually you're gonna unlock the sack clothing. Those suck. Don't even bother trying to go with those. What you need to do, obviously we have to craft a few of those, but what you need to unlock is this: fur cloak, fur hat, and fur tunic. Now you have to craft some of the ones made out of straw to unlock those, but those are essential because they give you like literally lots of warmth. 1600, 600, and 800. Now the thing is that your villagers can carry all three items at the same time. Sure, they're gonna complain that the material sucks and they don't like it, but at least they won't freeze to death. And that's at the beginning of the game a really important thing. So clothing, if you want your people to actually go outside and do something, like, I don't know, chop maybe some trees, go out hunting, or like, let's say, gather water, well, that's the thing. You need to give them some proper clothing. Now I've mentioned water. Keep in mind that at the beginning of the winter, your lake will be fine. You'll be able to get food over here. You'll be able to wash your people. You'll be able to get some water. You'll be fine. But eventually, the lake will freeze. So what you do then? Well, that's the thing. Remember when I said to you about the clean, that you have to rush to it? Yeah, that's what killed one of my first families. The clean is, if I remember correctly, somewhere over here. Let's see. The bricks are here, so the clean should be somewhere over here as well, like above it. I don't really see it right now. Did they move it? Oh man, I had it prepared and now they moved it, I think. I don't see the clean of it. Ah, there it is. So, there's the clean, right? You need to get some large rocks, some stones, some clay, some straw, yada yada yada. This is essential. This is essential. Either this, or you have to rush even more. And later on, you unlock yourself an actual well. There is an actual well in this game. But the thing is that you need stone bricks for that thing, like actual stone bricks, not large stones. You need stone bricks to get that shit. So, I think that actually having the clean is gonna be a better option. Now, you get the clean, and after that, you can craft yourself a clay jug. Now, this is super important. Without water, your people will die. Without water, your animals will die. Without water, everybody's gonna die. So how this thing works is that you create some of those. The villagers will grab it, go to the lake, and fill it up with water. Later on, I have to set up some pallets around the house, which is really important, because those things need to be inside of the house, where it's warm. And they're gonna put those things on the pallets. Right now, I have around 3,600 of water in water jugs. I think my family, which is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, I think they've used around more or less 2,000 water. I think this may be actually a subject to change, right? So try to get this water and keep it inside of the house where it's warm, okay? It's really important. Why inside where it's warm? Why you cannot keep it outside? Because the developers decided it's gonna be funny to implement actually a little bit of temperature mechanic. If you're gonna leave this jug outside filled with water, it's gonna freeze. It's not that big of a problem, because you can just put it on a campfire and like warm it up. As you can see, I have the option here, right? 100 ice jug, some branches, and you can warm up this water. It's fine. But the thing is that why you should waste fuel for heating up water? Just put some pallets in the house where it's warm, and you'll be fine. If you're gonna run out of it, it's not a disaster. You still can do it, right? You just need to get some jugs. Without the jugs, your villagers are not able to get any water. And without water, eventually, they're gonna die. Now, there's one more thing that I don't have here around. And I don't even think I have it unlocked right now. So I think I'm gonna be able to show it to you. What is that thing? I cannot find it right now. I think I need to get some planks before that thing will happen. Okay, I'll tell my guys to actually get some planks because there's one more item that you need to build if you want to survive. This actually hits them in the mood. There is a thing called a bathtub. Yeah, you may not notice, but when you start the game tells you to build this thing, right? The wash zone. This is the place where you people will clean up. During winter, that's not gonna be an option. During winter, you actually need to build them a proper bathtub if you want them to remain clean. If you won't give them that possibility, then they're gonna get pissed. If they're gonna get pissed, well, how to put it? They may complain. Right now, that's not big of an issue, but let's say that this thing will be rimworld. As you all know, you play in the rimworld, you people get way too low mood, they get cranky, and they rebel. Shit hits the fan, and your colony dies. So we covered the house, we've covered the clothing, we've covered a little bit warmth, we've covered water and cleaning. Speaking of warmth, remember to stockpile some branches. Like actually having storage and the branch pile somewhere in the house is not a bad idea. Just remember not to put it next to the campfire because it's gonna catch fire and it's gonna burn, right? As you see, I have one over here. It's close to the campfire, but not too close for this thing to catch fire. So okay, do we have most of the things? Well, I have my tool station over here. I'm still making like some additional clothing. I got clothing baskets full of like proper clothing for my people, right? As you can see, I've crafted those things only to unlock the full ones. But do we have everything? Not exactly. There's one essential thing that you're gonna miss. Also, don't worry about the animals. The only thing that you need to worry about the animals is basically give them. If I'm actually gonna find this thing somewhere. I don't think I have it unlocked as well. Give me a second, because this is actually something I completely forgot to prepare. I don't have it. Okay, so you also need to provide like a little water station for the animals. Like once you're gonna build the bathtub, you have to get the planks. Once you build the bathtub, that's gonna unlock for your animals. So you have to give them food and you have to give them water. Otherwise, well, they're gonna die. I mean, losing chickens is not that big of an issue. If you just build a trader post, they're gonna constantly get sold by them. And yeah, having an actual vacancy sign, and later on that thing is gonna unlock the trading post and job board is a good idea, especially the trading post, because sometimes maybe they're gonna bring something that will help you survive through the winter. So keep that thing in mind, and if you have the possibility, get yourself one. Now the final thing remaining for us to prepare, ladies and gentlemen, is, well, food. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so what's with the food department? You have survived the first winter without having like actually any field? Yeah. On berries? No, don't go for the berries. Like, forget about the berries. I thought that I can actually reward this shit and go with the berries by basically planting like a little field of berries. Just so you know, berries takes around 3 years in the game to provide you with any fruit, right? I've planted those shits here, and it took them around 3 years in the game to mature enough for me to collect them, to collect the berries back. That's a long-term investment, but don't rely on it in the beginning. Now the thing is that summer, I think you have no issues with summer. You can supply yourself with a bit of a L traps over here, so build like a few of those here and there. You can also help yourself with some hunting, and you have to do some hunting in order to get food, in order to prepare yourself some warm clothing, right? So this is a tip. if you're gonna go to the temperature overlay and click it, then the game's gonna actually show you the bunnies, right? So there's, oh, that's actually a rooster. There's a bunny over here, there's a fox over here. You could also try to hunt them down, why not? Another bunny over here. So basically what you do is you get the hunt wild animals and you hunt some of them. The fox as well. I don't think even the fox can like reproduce later on. I didn't see those things happening. So yeah, hunt those animals down, get the fur, get the food. Now, you're gonna get some meat. What you can do with the meat? Well, you can put it on a cooking fire and cook it. It's gonna last you maybe 2 days. Sure, you could try to build a freezer, but to build a freezer, you need to have ice. In order to have ice, you need to wait for the winter. That's a bit of a problem, because I think you would actually have to prepare food before winter will hit. So what now? Well, during fall, there's this thing called mushrooms. You should have a tremendous amount of, all of those things are mushrooms. All of those things are mushrooms, right? So you got huge, I mean, I at least have a huge amount of mushrooms over here. Huge amount of mushrooms over here. And I think I should have, yeah, I also have a huge amount of mushrooms to the north. So what you do is you build yourself the mushroom rack. This thing makes something called the dried mushrooms. And this thing will last almost through the entirety of the winter. Sure, sometimes send out the hunter with warm clothing. Send out the hunter out to hunt some wild bunnies, because they're gonna appear in the winter as well. That's not a problem. But don't completely rely on it, just in case. Prepare yourself some supplies. The winter lasts more or less 12 days. I've had prepared food for 20 days when I actually was going through this thing for the playthrough. So it lasted me, and I still have some supplies for the first few days of spring. So that was enough for me to, like, you know, go gather some new mushrooms, go do some hunting and stuff like that. So yeah, keep that thing in mind, that those are, in my opinion, essential. Unless you will somehow be lucky, you change your map settings to tremendous amounts of wildlife, so you can rely completely on hunting. Or you're gonna be lucky and you're gonna establish yourself a proper field before the winter will hit. It's up to you, right? But the dried mushrooms, in my opinion, are like one of the better ways to actually go through the winter without much of a problem. Now, just in case, if you have not enough mushrooms, but you're gonna have lots of wildlife, what you can do? Well, there's a thing called the meat smoker. It works basically the same way as the mushroom rack. It prepares the meat, right? You can make something called the smoked meat. And actually, advice for you, the traders would love to buy this thing from you. You can actually make quite a little fortune out of those things if you have enough bunnies and meat, that is. You can also try to sell some additional like clothing. Just remember that you have to put like a minimal amount for your people, so they won't go around naked during, for example, like winter. You get the smoker, obviously, from the ideas, and if I remember correctly, the smoker should be somewhere on this level. Ah, there it is. So yeah, behind the ignots. You need to get yourself the iron ignots if you want to unlock those. And those are like pretty important, so I highly recommend that you try to get those things somehow. And those are the items that I was referring to. I actually had to unlock some things. You need to unlock the water dipper, which I forgot is also quite essential for this thing. Yeah, you need to unlock a few things. I'll be honest with you. You need to unlock a few things. So to get this shit, you actually need to get the nails. To get the nails, you of course need to have the smithy. To get the smithy, you need to get yourself the bloomy, I think, or how we call that shit. You need the charcoal clean, of course, to have charcoal. Bloomery. Uses ores and charcoal to make ignots. Right? So you need all of that thing. This thing is for you people to drink water during winter. The bathtub is over here. So I need to build the water dipper first to get myself the bathtub. The water trout is for the animals, of course. And somewhere around here should also be the thing that will allow you to feed your animals. Because, well, during winter, not too much grass is gonna grow outside. So, if you want your chickens to actually remain alive, I highly recommend that you will provide them with some type of food. Bonus thing is that you have the fishing spot, which provides you with fish that later on you can also smoke. You can also cook. But because you can smoke it, you can actually prepare it for the winter. So ladies and gentlemen, I think that's gonna be it. Just so you know, the windows don't exactly lower the temperature inside of the house, but they are flammable, so keep them away from the fire sources. The vents are quite nice to have, especially if, for example, like me, you have a main room over here, which has like all of those heating devices, and storage for water is mostly over here. So if you want this room to remain on the positive, let's say positive temperature, the vent will allow just that. The heat from this room will travel to this room over here. It's gonna heat it up a little bit so the water won't freeze. The thing is that the animals also produce some heat, but I cannot say for sure how reliable source that is. And yeah, remember to have a haystack for gathering food for the animals, especially for the chickens. Unless you won't have any animals by winter, then that's like not really important. But yeah, you want to feed them with something, get them prepare them like a haystack or something. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that this was somehow useful to you. I hope that somehow with this you have an easier time to survive through the winter, and I highly recommend that you will give it a try. Do survive the winter and advance to the next year, because yeah, there's like a bunch of things you could try to build over here. There's actually a quite nice selection of items and goods you could try to produce in the game, but also like later on comes different aspects, such as like, you know, maintaining a normal number of settlers around here, stable number of settlers, because eventually they will die out of old age. So you have to interact with traders, you can interact with other clans. There's a bunch of options. I wouldn't want to spoil you too much, but as I said, give it a try. And well, if this have been somehow unuseful to you, let me know in the comment section below how I can make it a little bit more useful. And as I said, I don't know how the developers will change this game in the future patches. For the current version of the game, this house carried me through the winter. I've survived it without any actual problem. But I don't know how this thing will be reliable in, let's say, like a year or two. So yeah, we'll see how that's gonna go. But that's gonna think I'm gonna worry about in the future episodes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. See you in the next video.